Hi everyone, my name is Yolene Tikabaka. I'm French and Congolese. I've been living in New York for 14 years and today I decided to make a documentary in order to share my experience I had in Peru with ayahuasca, a very powerful and limitless plant, and I would like to make it known to those who don't know about that limitless plant. So without making you wait any longer, let's jump right in and know what ayahuasca is all about. Ayahuasca is a beverage 100% medicinal, made of two plants, the chacruna leaf and ayahuasca. They are boiled separately for several hours, then mixed. It ends up giving us a thick paste a bit similar to honey. However, the taste has nothing to have with honey, no. The ayahuasca contains DMT, which stands for dimethyltryptamine. It is found in our brain and gets released by our pineal gland. It is also found in animals and some plants. After we ingest ayahuasca, the DMT gets sprayed in our brain, which allows us to access the spiritual realm or higher dimensions. Ayahuasca was discovered thousands of years ago by shamans or traditional healers, to be precise. It is found in the Amazonian forest in countries like Peru, Brazil, and Ecuador. The use of ayahuasca has been prohibited by government and put into Schedule I substance because they believe it's a drug. However, in other countries, it has been scientifically studied on people who consume it while keeping an eye on the benefit it brings. Ayahuasca is used for energetic and physical cleansing, for people who want to reconnect with their divine self, their higher consciousness, the part of our conscious that we don't use. So basically it works on a psychological and spiritual level as well as emotional. Ayahuasca can be taken by people who suffer from psychological and physical illnesses, such as post-traumatic stress disorder or anything that can disrupt a life. As a matter of fact, I refer to everything I heard when I went on my first spiritual retreat, which was in Orlando, Florida. We were more than 40 people who were sharing a little bit of what we were here for. I met a veteran that was suffering from PTSD. I also met a lady who was having issues with her mother since her childhood, and she was able to heal after a couple of sessions. I also met people who were suffering from alcoholism and drug problems. However, the people who had alcoholism or drug problem needed a longer retreat, in contrary to people who suffer from PTSD or those in search of personal awakening. They were getting positive results after a long retreat. So ayahuasca can be taken by all types of people, men, women, and children. However, it's advised for children to take it by the age 13. Yes, it can be dangerous to drink ayahuasca once the protocols are not followed, because there are strict rules to follow before drinking the brew given by centers or shamans. People who are on medication are required to talk about that to their doctor, so they can be put off medication 4 to 6 weeks prior, because ayahuasca does not mix with pharmaceutical products, and therefore it is necessary to do a cleansing of the medication before taking ayahuasca. There is also a specific diet to follow at least 2 months before For instance, the pork must be removed from the diet 2 months before, red meat 1 month before. Then 1 month before, they also ask to stop salt, sugar, and some spice. In fact, it's better to have an organic diet or eat what is produced by the earth, like potato, banana, fruits. On the other hand, chicken is allowed, but without salt and seasoning. When the protocol is seriously followed, I don't see any risk. However, it is required to talk to your doctor if you are on medication. It's also not advised to drink ayahuasca if you have heart disease or mental illnesses. So I recommend to make further research and deep research to see if you are eligible to drink the brew. It is also necessary to be mentally prepared. Let's say in a month you will go to an ayahuasca center for a spiritual retreat. They will suggest you to avoid watching TV or to go on social networking sites to avoid to put too much information in your brain. Because if you had argument, fights or drama before you go, the brew will just focus on healing the negativity that you put in your brain before you go there, keeping in mind that the healing lasts only 5 to 6 hours. That's why it is advised to empty your mind with unnecessary info. You can also learn how to meditate. You can listen to a lot of relaxing music, gospel music, read spiritual books or watch video talking about that subject. In other words, it's highly recommended to be on a positive mode and avoid drama. Also, before you decide to go on a spiritual retreat, I advise you to wisely choose your shaman or the center. It's better to go to a place that was recommended by a friend or a center that you read some testimonial or video showing the way they do their ceremonies. What I did before I go there, I disconnected myself from the social networking sites and TV. I was only going on Facebook to reply to personal, important email or wish some birthday to friends. I was reading a lot of spiritual books talking about psychedelics and entheogens. Well, in 2015, one day I was surfing on the internet and I saw an ad that was saying the Limitless Plant, which was referring to the movie The Limitless with Bradley Cooper. And I said to myself, let me find out about that plant. So I went on Google, I googled the name ayahuasca, I found out that it was a natural plant. Then went on YouTube and tapped the name and I saw that there was multiple videos talking about that. Some people were explaining their first experience with ayahuasca. There was other documentary describing what was exactly the plant. I've watched a documentary with Timothy Leary and another one that they were explaining that it was legal before in US and got banned in the mid-60s. I found about Rick Strassman as well, who had a lot of video where he explains the benefit of the psychedelics. And then further I discovered Terence McKenna. He has a lot of video to really explain in detail how it processes in our brain and what it can do for us. I also discovered Graham Hancock, which I really admire for all of the work that he does regarding the entheogen and the family of psychedelics.
An ayahuasca journey is a complex and difficult process. First off, there's the physical effects. Ayahuasca is a beverage. It's a brew, and it tastes just absolutely disgusting. It is hard to imagine a more horrific and unpleasant taste. And you have to brace yourself physically and mentally before pouring this beverage down your throat. I certainly do. It's very, very, very hard work. Secondly, within about half an hour to an hour of drinking the brew, most of us start to feel pretty ill. It's physically a most uncomfortable ordeal that you have to go through before the powerful visionary effects to begin to take place. And those visionary effects typically have two levels. One of them concerns what you might call personal development. The second thing that ayahuasca does is take you on a journey into parallel realms.
Then I felt secure and confident after I watched all of the video with the testimonial. Also, I got the desire to go to Peru, but couldn't go because I didn't know anybody wanted to go with me at the time, and I don't speak the language as well, the Spanish. That's why I couldn't go there by myself. So the desire started decreasing, and went away of my mind, but not completely. Then in 2017, I got another strong desire to drink the plant. I went back to my research on Google, typed the name Ayahuasca, United States, and I found that there was a center in Orlando, Florida that was offering ceremonies for Ayahuasca. I was very happy, so I went on the website, got the number, called. I got the owner, Chris, who was very nice and helpful with me answering all of the questions I wanted to know. He then directed me toward his website to see the schedule and the pricing as well as the protocol. Then I said to myself that the center seemed very legit to me, so I ended up booking a ticket in the following 3 weeks that was coming, because on their calendar it was saying that in 3 weeks they're gonna have a shaman who will come from Peru in order to lead the ceremonies. So I chose that specific week and I went there on my first spiritual retreat, which was a retreat of 3 days. And I remember that the first time that I drank ayahuasca was the best day of my life after my birth and probably my son's birth. And I met my friend there for the first time, the one that motivated me to go to Peru the following year. And I was so fascinated by what I discovered about myself that I ended up booking another ticket to go the next month, and with the same shaman. And this one was a retreat of 7 days. So I went there, I met there with my friend, and the plant kept on working on myself. I continued discovering things about myself. And in 2018, my friend and I flew to Peru for 2 weeks. This trip was super powerful and transformative on a big scale and in a positive way. Yeah, there is no word to explain. The spiritual center of Ayahuasca belongs to Gaspar, the shaman. He lives there with his family, and he has a big house that can receive 14 people at a time. Salut, c'est Yolene. Bon, ben là, on est arrivé à Acapulco, right? Pucallpa. Sorry. On est à Pucallpa, au Pérou, voilà, pour une retraite spirituelle. Et donc là, on est chez la famille du chaman qui s'appelle donc Gaspar, que j'ai eu l'occasion de rencontrer 2 fois à Orlando pour 2 séances différentes d'ayahuasca. Donc là, on est venu là où il habite, dans son fief. Et ici, ça sera plus drastique que ce qu'on a eu à New York. Voilà. Donc voici la chambre où on va dormir. Here's the Maloca. That's where we all gathered at night for the ayahuasca ceremonies. That's the ayahuasca that you can see in this small bottle. The center takes care of the food and the shelter. We have a 2-day ceremony and 1-day break. And during the break day, the shaman brings us sightseeing to the city or to the zoo. Why he brings us sightseeing or to the zoo is for us to not be completely disconnected when we come back to our big cities. It's not all center who does it. The reason the shaman brings us to the city during our break is to make our reintegration easy when we go back to our daily routine. An ayahuasca ceremony is done in a way that you should first have an empty stomach 6 hours prior without eating or drinking anything. That's why we only have 2 meals, which is part of the diet. The first one is around 10 a.m. and the second and last around 2 p.m. And around 9, the lady comes and calls us to the Maloca, And once we arrive in the Maloka, we install ourselves in the mat, and we have a bucket in front of us, tissue or toilet paper, Florida water. We have our pillow and blankets, and the bucket is for in case you want to vomit. And then the shaman starts sharing story with us that was passed from generation to generation, like mystical stories. And then he starts the prayer. He asks the universe and all of the positive power to accompany us during the ceremony. He also called the presence of Mother Ayahuasca, because it says that there is a female entity behind that plant, and her name is Mother Ayahuasca. She's also called Pachamama. Then after the blessing, he gives us our cup of ayahuasca. It's around 50 milliliter each. And if someone wants more later, he can ask. But usually the first portion is already good for certain people. And usually the first portion is cooked like very light. And it starts increasing the strongness of the brew day after days. But the first one is very light. It's to see how it works with our body. Then after we drink the ayahuasca, around 20 minutes after, we start feeling very ill. Like you have a lot of stomach ache and you can vomit, yawn, or have a lot of tears coming down without you controlling them. And what else? You sweat a lot. You can have diarrhea, depends on the people. And after those 40 minutes to 1 hour, the vision starts. Like the powerful vision and colors that we never seen here, or geometric shapes that are very beautiful, and it's just powerful, and there is no word to explain those experiences. And it has awakened one of my hidden talent, I guess, because we all have hidden talent that we don't use. And Ayahuasca gonna show you what those hidden talents are. It's like when I came back from Peru, I started painting the following months. I love art, but I've never imagined myself doing painting as a healing hobby, because every time I feel uncomfortable inside myself, just the way that we don't feel good, I can paint for hours and feel relief or a sense of peace of mind. I usually try to reproduce some of the vision I see on ayahuasca trip, or train myself with YouTube tutorial, or come up with my own inspiration with abstract paintings. Things is that it has awakened a strong desire in me to learn about astrology, which has pushed me to register in a school and learn about astrology to become an astrologer. And I've never seen myself becoming an astrologer. I've learned astrology since 2009 in a couple of spiritual school that I went at, but not on a deeper level. Now that's what I've been doing. And something else that it has done to me, it has made me feel more sensitive, like very sensitive when I'm around people. I can sense people's energy more than before. It has also made me focus more on the small voice that we have inside that we don't usually listen at. Let's say it's like sometimes we can go through a problem and we say, oh, something told me to not go there. So that's the voice that I'm more in tune with. Not 100%, but more than before. My last word is I just wanted to emphasize that if I made this documentary, it's because the plant is 100% natural, and it has been used for thousands of years ago in different continents. We can find it in Africa under other names. It's like the iboga or ibogaine we can find in the central of Africa, precisely in Gabon. This type of plant can help you connect directly with the divine source. So I think that if someone decides to drink that plant, it's its personal choice that needs to be respected, especially if he is eligible to drink the brew. For those who want to go to an ayahuasca journey, I advise you to seriously do your research, learn about the plant, watch the videos of people's experiences, or go to a center that was recommended by a friend who has been there, or a center with positive reviews or videos that show how they do their ceremony. Also, don't forget to follow your intuition. Okay, so this documentary touched at its end. I thank all of you to have watched my documentary. I hope that all of my explanation was clear enough and easy to understand. I will see you in my next video, where I'm gonna be sharing a video on subject about spirituality or astrology. I can't wait. And the last word is thank you very much to all of you. Don't forget to subscribe, to like and share my video. And God bless you all, love you all, and peace.